Good afternoon, everybody. This is a reconvened meeting of the Licensing 2003 Act Subcommittee. The first part of the hearing was on the Tuesday, the 9th of February, and this will be the conclusion of that process. We had to reconvene because of electronic, well, no, I don't think I mean electronic, but, you know, issues with the technology is probably a better way of putting it. Hopefully this won't happen today. I'm Councillor Neil Wilson. I'll try and explain things as we go along. Due to issues around the coronavirus COVID-19, in order to meet with social distancing guidance issued by the government and Public Health England, this meeting will be conducted completely via teleconferencing arrangements, and we do hope that they don't let us down again. And due to the above, we're advising you as members of the public that the meeting can be seen, obviously, as you've already discovered, by the YouTube channel, and the recording is available on the video section of the London Borough of Newham YouTube site. If you wish to follow the agenda, that is to be found on the Newham Council site under agendas of committees. And we are midway through, but I think we should just do a bit of catch up so that everybody's on the same page. But starting off with introductions, please. So I'm Neil Wilson, I'm the Council's Chair of Licensing. I'll be chairing this subcommittee this afternoon, and I represent the ward of Plaistow South. Pushpa?
Thank you, Chair. Councillor Pushpa Makwana, presenting Littleford Ward, committee member for licensing.
Sure. And Councillor Pat Murphy?
Councillor Pat Murphy, Royal Docks Ward.
Thank you very much. Now, the presenting officer, the case officer was?
Colin Hunt, I'm the case officer, London Borough of Newham.
Right, and representations were made from both the Metropolitan Police and Environmental Health Team. So, Connell, please.
Connell Stone, Metropolitan Police Licensing.
Thank you very much. And Ian from Environmental Health.
Ian McConnell, Commercial Environmental Health.
And the applicant, Azim, please.
Hi, good afternoon. It is Azim Azam.
I think we had a little bit of a high-pitched chirping. If you can, I hope it's not a smoke alarm or something going off there. But...
No, it's not smoke alarm. Actually, we are in the same room.
Nehan, Nihal, is that you making these noises? I'm accusing your client of making noises. Was it you?
It is because we are in the same room. We will be using the same device going forward to avoid this interference.
Well, it's not very good quality. I couldn't hear any of that. I don't know about my colleagues.
No.
You do have to hear.
Mr. Manghio, I think practically speaking, the arrangement to have you both in the same room on different equipment isn't going to work. So if you could share, if you could just share, that would be lovely. Thank you.
Thank you, because we do need to hear everything, and that sounded like some sort of strangled bird in the background. I thought you were dealing with budgies or pigeons entering or something at one point. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
And where's your client?
I have my client, Mr. Azim.
Yeah, if you socially distance and move the camera around, you know, we'll presumably not ask you a question together, so you may have to keep, you know, oscillating between the two, but using the same machine.
Thank you.
Because it does cause all that interference, and it is important that we hear everybody, if that's all right. So would you like to introduce yourself now? I've given you that long list of instructions.
Good afternoon, Chairman. Good afternoon, member of the committee. My name is Nihal Manghio, and I'm a trainee solicitor. I'll be representing the interest of the applicant in this meeting. And I have with me Mr. Azim.
Yeah, Azim here. Good afternoon, everyone.
Thank you. And I think last but not least, our clerk, please.
Thank you, Chair. Nisha Lathigra, Democratic Services.
Now, is that everybody, Antonella? We don't have anybody else waiting.
Chair, everybody's present for this meeting.
Thank you. Now, in accordance...
apart from the case officer.
Case officer.
The legal officer hasn't been introduced.
Oh, sorry. Thank you very much. Legal. This is an administrative hearing. Thank you, Colin. This is an administrative hearing, and we have to act in accordance with the relevant guidance from the Secretary of State as pertaining to the 2003 Act of Licensing. Clearly, Councillor Murphy, Councillor McWan and myself are not lawyers, so we're assisted in our legal deliberations by Umar. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Umar Malik, One Source Legal Services.
Is that everybody now? Sorry, Umar. Right, now, in accordance with the procedures as outlined already in this meeting, we were going through the relevant representations, and it was my understanding that we were in the middle of Ian's presentation and representation, and we were asking him questions. Then the sound all went on peculiar, and it was the council's fault, that one. We had email problems, and then it became an internet problem. So, Ian, do you wish to pick up the ball, please?
Yes, thank you, Chair. Yeah, the only issue really that we still have concerns about is the lateness of the final hour proposed till 4 a.m. We'd want to see an earlier finish to that. Background noise level gets lower at night time, so any noise associated with this is more likely to disturb local residents. Yeah. Now
the map conveniently on Appendix D, it may be convenient, but it's not particularly helpful because it's not reproduced very well in my copy. But if you can refer to map D while I'm asking the question, we're slap bang in the middle of the CIZ, yeah, the Community of Impact Zone, and we're in the area of quite a busy footfall up and down High Street, south and north, and more and the Romford Road, correct? Yep.
Yes.
It's High Street North, not High Street South. No, I'll put that in. High Street North and Romford. Very busy junction. Is it in your professional experience that you did say, I think I've got this right, I'll have to rely on the clerk or a mayor. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but because we're, reconvening, that there are few premises open in that particular area to this extent.
Yes, there's no other premises open late for hot food in close proximity to this premises.
Yeah. And I think, because we're just doing catch up at the moment, Ian, so it may seem a bit repetitive. I think you were saying that although this is not pertaining to this particular application in terms of alcohol, people very often use alcohol food as a sort of soaking up exercise.
Yes, yeah.
I think you made reference to people, the local residents being adversely affected by drunk and other intoxicated people coming up and making noise,
yes.
Not necessarily because of the shop, but because the shop is convenient for them, and then making the noise outside of it.
Yes, yeah, alcohol may be a factor, particularly later at night time. And people who are consuming alcohol, they're not known for being quiet and necessarily respectful for people in residence.
And sound does carry.
It does, yeah. And because the traffic dies down late at night, any noise there is becomes more of a problem.
Thank you. Now, Umar, we were, or Nisha, we were still on questions to Ian, weren't we? Yeah.
That's correct, Chair.
Yes, so it's any other member at the point. Anything else from Pat? Yes.
Sorry?
Do you have any questions of Ian at the moment?
No, thanks, Chair.
And Pushpa?
No, thanks, Chair.
Right, so we've sort of shut our questions off at this point. Does the agent or the applicant have any questions of Environmental Health Officer?
Chairman, I have a couple of questions.
A chair will do, please. Chairman is rather old-fashioned. We haven't used it in this council since 1970 something.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I have a question for Mr. Ian. Ian, the first question is that your concerns regarding the lateness, because being the 4 a.m., what are other premises on the same area open past midnight? How many other businesses are open?
Well, there's none in the immediate vicinity, within 100 meters. I haven't looked any further than that. I imagine there are some further along Romford roads towards the A12. I know there's one that's open quite late down there, and obviously towards Stratford there are other premises which are open quite late. But as I don't know any others. I mean, I've looked at 100 meters and there's nothing else in 100 meters.
Thank you. And second question is that what is the optimum from the council side that is acceptable from the environmental point of view that should be allowed beyond midnight? What was reasonable?
Well, yeah, I mean, I prefer to see something like 2 a.m.
I think that was stated Nihal last time. I think Ian did say more 2 was a sort of envelope. 2 a.m. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you,
I
Chair.
think that was, yeah. Just on we're allowed to use our local knowledge and all the rest of it, and also other cases, not naming the premises. But it's my understanding that in the journey that one could take from where this premises is located towards Little Ilford, there'll be about 3 or 4, I think, that might be open after midnight, but we're not talking about hundreds, Ian, are we? Even on that?
No, there's not a huge number as far as I know.
3 or 4 that have come before this committee.
Yes.
Thank you, Chair. That concludes my question.
So thank you very much. Thank you. Ume, anything we've left out?
Nothing further from myself.
Okay, Colin, you've now gone into sort of like a more dark mode. I don't know how to put it. Are you okay? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
you're getting very dark there. I don't know where it's a different light over in. Well, that's better. I'm just so nervous, everybody, that we lost everybody last time. As soon as anything goes wrong, I think, well, we're going to cut people off again. Right. So it's now the applicant and their agent. And Nihal, you probably know that this committee's got a reputation for asking the applicant as well as you as an agent. So there will be some, sliding of camera needed. You can start off your case, please.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you. After listening to Ian, and the only question and concern was Ian's, and Colin has clearly said the issue raised from Colin's, not Colin, from the Met Police side, sorry.
Connell, yeah.
Mr. Stewart have already been addressed, and the parties kind of indicated that they are in compliance with whatever the Met Police have put forward. Business owner and his partner would comply with that all the time. Providing Ian's suggestion that business some ideal up to 2 a.m. Applicant has already conceded to that, and because applicant is a local resident, he has a great sympathy for the local residents, mostly because most of them are his regular customer. He does not want to impose any inconvenience on them. Therefore, he said if this committee fits the 2 a.m. is acceptable time, he would adhere to that.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, that was nice and brief. That was you get some prizes from us as a committee for being brief. No, thank you. Now, can I ask the client 1 or 2 things? I'm sure my colleagues would want to come in. Azim.
Yes.
You hear me all right? Sorry, because you're having to share a screen and things. So I want you to hear me, okay? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Your agent has said you're a local resident. Obviously, you're on public camera, so I don't want your full address, but can you just give me an idea of where you live? What sort of East Ham, West Ham, Plaistow, Stratford?
Barking.
You live in Barking, yeah. And how long have you had this shop?
It's last year, February.
So from February 2020.
Exactly, the 1 month.
You are a leaseholder or a freeholder?
Is it, Chair, he's a leaseholder?
Leaseholder, yeah. You may have to chip in if you can't hear me. And how long is the lease for?
This lease is for 15 years.
So you pay to a landlord. What sort of sum on that, please?
Chair, I completed the lease on the premise.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah.
I can tell you there was was purchased as ongoing business, and
Yeah.
they paid premium to buy a goodwill, what we call it, and the lease did not have any premium and just paid as commercial 3 months deposit rent and 3-month rent advance.
Yeah, I don't want to go. I just wanted a ballpark figure of what sort of per monthly figure you were looking at.
Investment, total investment at the start of it at £40,000 was
Yeah.
invested into the business.
Yeah. Now you did going back to Azim. Your agent has said that you have a local customer base. How long have you had these premises since February 2020? Obviously, we've been in difficult situations because after a month of you opening, there was a lockdown, and we're on our third lockdown. We get all of that, but we have to deal with the law as it stands, not with special COVID stuff, because we hopefully coming out of lockdown, and people are sort of optimistic. When you say local customers, you're a fast food
Yes. Yes, fast.
effort. What sort of fast food is it?
Yeah, fast food, chicken and chips. Yeah.
Chicken and chips.
Yeah.
Just chickens and chips.
Chicken. Yeah, chicken and chips, and we do pizzas as well. Yeah, and we don't do alcohol at all in our premises.
No. Well, you haven't applied for alcohol. Yeah. Yeah. I think I'll pass over to my colleagues, Councillor Murphy
I have no questions, Chair.
and Councillor Pushpa.
I just have one question for either Nehal or Azim. Understand that you want to extend your opening hours, or whatever obviously you want to agree with, but we just want to find out how many staff will be employed there.
Yeah.
And
How many staff? Yes. Yeah.
At the moment, we have 5 staff at the moment.
right,
But
so
they're
how
not
many?
working all the time, are they? Sorry, Pushpa. I think the question is, if I'm clear, it's about how many staff at any one time, Pushpa, isn't it? Yeah.
Or yeah, that's correct, Chair.
Given time.
Especially if you're thinking of opening late night, because at the moment you close
11 o'clock.
11 o'clock, yeah. So should you want to extend it from 11 till 2, how many extra staff will be on the premises on that time?
That time will be probably 4. 4 staff, and one should have SIA license. Yeah, that's we agreed with the police officer when I spoke with him, and in the email we agreed with, and he said, like, if we in the weekdays you must have one staff with SIA license, and the training one, like full training of a person, which I have already. I submitted. I have given my SIA license reference number, and he confirmed it.
Question was, how many staff members will be present at a given time?
Given four of them, yeah.
If it's 4 past, if this committee fits the applicant's application succeeds, there will be 4 employees beyond that time until the new closing time.
Right. Another question, sorry. Understand that could be 4 staff or 5 staff, but that because you're going to close at 2 o'clock or whatever you come to an agreement with, how will they travel home? Because obviously it's going to be dark early in the morning.
There is 2 buses running every night, 86, 24 hours. Another one, 24 hours. So it's the 2 buses going, and the staff, one of staff, they have car or something.
So other staff working in the place, are they from Newham or outside Newham? Because obviously if they're traveling on their own.
They are in Newham, definitely.
They're at Newham. That's fine, thank you.
Thank you very much.
And you know that the committee may be here for licensing, but we have an overall well-being power in law. So my colleagues' questions are actually directed on that front, and it is, I think, quite a good question that we should ask all clients, really, coming before us, all the applicants rather, about safety of workforce and all the rest of it, as well as safety of people outside. Now, I'm going to kick off by asking if Connor can come back. We may come back with anything further, but Connell, do you have any questions? I said Connor, I meant Connell. Connell, do you have any questions at this point?
Thank you, Chair. The only thing I would like the applicant to confirm, and he has formally confirmed, he has already mentioned it, is that the conditions that were submitted prior to the last meeting are agreed by the applicant, and they are the agreed proposed conditions for the committee to determine the outcome of the application.
Is this, sorry, Connell, you better come back on. You're too quick on the mute button there. So that was a sleight of hand, really, by the Met Police. Are you referring to that which was pertaining to the supplementary agenda at the first hearing?
Yes, that is correct.
At the hearing when before it's reconvened, yes. So
yes,
do we have agreement that that's a definitive list? Because we don't want to go into a cul-de-sac position. Because we
that is agreed. That is agreed. I'm just asking the applicant to formally confirm to the committee that they are the agreed conditions.
The applicant, you understand the question from the police that they're the conditions that you're formally agreeing to as the license holder if it were to be granted.
Yeah.
The last Chair, can I just have a brief discussion to explain what was the question?
No, I will do that.
Okay.
Because we need to be very clear that it's a question to the applicant.
Yeah.
The applicant is being asked by the Metropolitan Police, because we had a supplementary that was late, that those are the agreed conditions that you are putting forward that would be pertaining to this license if this committee agreed it. That new list is what we're all agreed on.
Yeah, yeah.
You're agreeing to follow through as conditions.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. It was a formal agreement, but it needs to be said publicly because this is a public hearing. If you were in the council chamber at East Ham, I'd be equally underlining it. Yes. So the agent can say various things, but as long as you're clear on what you're being asked, that's the main thing. Yes.
Yes.
Thank
I'm
you.
agreed with whatever we discussed already in the
The
email.
supplementary. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Connor, is that dealt with that one?
Yes, thank you, Chair.
And you don't have anything further?
No, thank you, Chair.
Ian, do you have any further questions of Nihal or Azim at this point?
No, Chair, I've got any questions. Thank you.
Pushback, Pat?
No questions, Chair.
I feel a
No
natural
questions,
I feel a natural hiatus has been reached. Therefore, Councillor Murphy, can you go on mute, please? Can you go on mute, Councillor Murphy? Therefore, I'm asking that we have the adjournment for deliberation. So on the agenda item 2, which is the procedure, we now pass a resolution to deliberate in private. This is both our custom and practice. We deliberate in private, we exclude the press and public. The only people allowed in with us, because it's a member decision, that means the elected councillors who are not lawyers, we have somebody to provide advice on procedure and law as required by us, and that is who Mayor will be joining us, and the clerk who's taken copious notes, because we judge our decision on both written and oral evidence, what's been said as well as what we've had in paper. Is that okay, everybody? Now, the screen will go up, but I better allow the Zoom helper to explain that, because I might confuse everybody again.
Thank you, Chair. During the deliberations, all parties will be invited to remove themselves into a private room, which will not be webcast during the time that members are deliberating. There will be a holding screen, as you say. If members wish, or anybody that does not wish to go into a private room, if we could also ask them to switch off their camera and mute microphone, and then there will be a notice given when the committee is ready to resume.
Thank you very much. Is everybody clear? Yeah. We will see you, but we mustn't say how long we'll be, but we try not to keep people waiting. We will make a decision in there, but we can't say it's going to be 5 minutes, 10 minutes or 10 hours. I think it'll be towards the shorter end of that spectrum. Thank you very much. Can we get the breakout rooms and popping up wherever we can?
Just organising that now for you, Chair. An invitation has been sent to all parties.
So we're back again, everybody, those watching us on live stream. We're just waiting for all the participants in this process. The committee has made a decision, but we need to have everybody on screen.
Just waiting for the case officer, Chair.
Have you lost Colin?
He's just joining us, I believe.
All right. Yeah.
He's left the breakout room. I'm just trying. Yes, he's here, but the camera's not switched on yet. There we go. Everybody's present, Chair.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your patience, everybody. We have made a decision, and just before I ask the clerk to read it out, can I thank you again for persisting with inability last time to have a complete hearing because of technical problems, but I don't think we're being too defeated on technical problems. Colin, can you hear me? You look as if you can everybody still hear me? Sorry. I just want to thank everybody for their persistence and the way you've conducted yourselves in this hearing. We have come to a decision, and can I ask the clerk to read it out, please?
Thank you, Chair. Having considered all submissions, both written and oral, the subcommittee have decided to grant the licence. The hours for late night refreshments and opening and closing from Monday to Sunday will be from 11 AM until 0200 the following day. In addition, the committee wish to impose the conditions as follows: an undertaking by the applicant to monitor litter in the immediate area, supplement to street cleansing services, a phone number to be provided for residents in case of excessive noise or disturbance, and for notices to be put up at the premises for reminding patrons to leave the premises quietly. A full written decision with reasons will be provided with the aim of it reaching the applicant in 5 working days.
Thank you very much, Nisha. Now, I hope that's clear, everybody. And it just remains for me to remind everybody that the applicant responsible authorities may appeal against the decision to the Magistrates' Court within a period of 21 days. Is that clear, everybody? Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you. And I hereby declare meeting closed. Goodbye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Chair. The meeting